welcome to another amazing episode of Conversations with Ife Talks. Now remember, the last time we had the podcast here, I told you that we'll be doing this as often as possible, where I have guests come in and we talk about interesting things that would add value to you, to me, helping us make more intentional decisions about life. The last time on the show I had my husband, and we had a very amazing time. We talked about the loss that we had and how we navigated through that season. Today is another amazing session of podcast with Ife Talks, right? And I have my very good friend, my very, very good friend. His name is Jide Ogunleye. He's going to be here talking to us, and we're going to be talking about something that is very important. The year is coming to an end. A lot of things have happened in this 2024. We're planning for 2025. We're going to be discussing work-life balance. Work-life balance is a very important topic that a lot of us forget. Sometimes we get so busy, we forget to pause, to rest. Sometimes we rest too much, we forget to work, right? So how do we balance this aspect of our lives? That's what we're going to be talking about today. The next face that you will be seeing on your screen will be my guest, Jide Ogunleye. Hello everyone, this video you're watching is proudly sponsored by RightMate Technologies. Now, RightMate Technology is a human-centered, innovative technology company that focuses on helping businesses grow through digital transformation. Some of the services they provide are mobile apps, payment solutions, web development, process automation, data analytics, UI UX, and others. Now, for more information, visit their website on www.rightmate.com. The link to the website will be in the description on this video. Just click on it to find out more about them. And most importantly, use them, do business with them. You would not regret it. All right, bye for now. All right, hi everyone, welcome back. And now I have my guest with me. My guest, Jide Ogunleye. Trust me, this man is an embodiment of a lot of things, but I'm not going to stay. I'm just going to allow him say everything. And I chose him specifically for this topic because by the time he's done, you will ask him, bro, do you have like 10 lives? Do you have like 100 lives? How do you do all that you do and you're still functioning, right? And as you're seeing him, he's very, very social, very, very he has cracked us up in the studio today. We had a very good laugh, yeah. But this is Jide Ogunleye, and I want to say thank you. Welcome. Thank you so much. I know it took a lot to be here. Thank you for the sacrifice. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for making this happen. For me, for our guests, for everyone. So welcome, Jide Ogunleye.
Thank you so much, Ife, for having me on your show. It is indeed an honor to be here.
Thank you. So let's just go straight into it. Work-life balance, right? But before I jump into the questions that relate to our topic, let's know who you are. Who's Jide Ogunleye? What do you do? Just tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so Jide Ogunleye is an IT consultant. What I basically do is I use information to basically help people solve problems. I have about 18 years professional experience in doing this. I've worked with various clients across various industries, from banking to telecoms and to aviation. I'm married. I've got 2 beautiful kids, and I like to think of us together as Voltron. Why? It's because I think of myself as patron. My son is Jaron, my daughter is Sharon, and my wife is a matron. Considering we have no plans to have any additional kids, there will be no Aaron or anything. So together we are Voltron. So that's Jide in a nutshell.
Awesome, fantastic. But Jide, I would like you to, tell us a bit more, because I know that you have other sides to you, because I need people to see that there's a way that these things can work, right? I'm excited to talk about your professional life, you talk about your family life, right? So can you tell us the other things that you are involved in that makes you you?
Oh, thank you, Ife. I think that's a great question. There are quite a number of things. By default, I'm passionate about giving back. As a result, I'm involved in quite a number of things. One, from mentoring. I do a lot of mentoring for young boys. I have an NGO called Boys to Men, where I mentor boys that have been raised by single moms, and these are kids that ranges between the ages of 5 to 18, 17 and 18. So I have that expression of me. Also in giving back, I joined an international service organization, humanitarian organization called Rotary International, and that was some eight years ago. I currently serve in that organization, Rotary International, as the president of my Rotary Club. In the past, I've served as the vice president of the club. I've served as the membership chairman. I've served as secretary, chairman, international convention, and I've also served at a district level in various committee. I'm a member of other social organizations like Lagos Country Club, which is recreational. I'm a member of Assist International, and quite a number of other social organizations.
Fantastic. Wow. Thank you so much for that. That has helped me to, and also helped my viewers to understand why I need you to elaborate, because, sometimes people say that it's impossible to do a lot of things and to do them successfully. And that's why we're having this conversation today. But maybe I should ask, did you ever see yourself, or did you ever think that you were going to be doing all this? Usually everybody's plan is just to work professionally, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a corporate person and you want success, and you want to be successful in whatever it is that you're doing. But in addition to your work you have and your family, you have the other things that you are actively involved in. Did you ever think that you were going to do all this?
To a certain extent, I did believe, I've seen myself that I'll be doing some things because I'm almost like Joseph the Dreamer, right? So many of the things that I do now are things that I've dreamt about and things that I've seen myself doing.
Fantastic.
And there's still so many things that I intend to do that I've not done yet, that I'm dreaming about, and many of these things exist today on my vision board.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay, great. Sometimes you say we stumble into some stuff, but I'm happy that you dreamt it, you saw it, and it has materialized one way or the other. So that thing that they say that if you can think it, you can achieve it, is real.
Yes, to a certain extent. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so now you have your business that you do, you have your family, you have Rotary, you have your NGO, and the other things that you're committed to. How are you able to manage and succeed at all these things? How are you able to harmonize it and just do it effectively?
I think the first thing for me, I would say to that would be, I'm blessed with an amazing spouse, right? And she gives me the opportunity for me to express myself. And that's because, to a certain extent, I believe she understands my passion points. Okay, so it starts from there. I would not have been able to do many of the things that I'm doing right now if I did not have the support and understanding of my spouse. A good example is, I'm just coming from a project site down here, and then she was right there with me in that project activity, and it wasn't even easy for her to be there. Not only does she demonstrate level of understanding, she's also participating in all those activities. So for me, it would be the fact that I have a very understanding spouse that when I have to go out of town, or I have to be there at this project or at that project, she understands it. So it gives me the opportunity to be able to really do the things that I'm passionate about.
Fantastic. Wow. So this is where you say, marry well, carry I go market. But I love it. So that's good. So you think that it first starts from, at least for someone who is married, it starts from, understanding with your spouse. But before you got married, right? Maybe for someone who is single, right? What do you think will be an important thing for them to note if you're going to journey? Not everybody is going to do this kind of thing, and that doesn't mean that they're not successful realistically, right? You can just succeed as long as you know that you're following your vision and your purpose. You don't have to do 101 things, right? But for someone for a younger you, right, who is going to do all this, but is still single, what will you say, or what will you tell them?
To a younger me, or someone that is young, it will be for them to start whatever it is they want to start doing now, and let their fiancé or their partner or their girlfriend or boyfriend be involved in what they're doing from right on. I remember back when I was still dating my wife, she was very involved in running the company that I currently run today, even while we're dating. Okay, so she understood that, and then she was friends with all of my friends at the time. So when we got married, there was nothing strange. It was still the same set of friends.
You didn't catch her by surprise.
Fantastic. And then when I made new friends, we made those new friends together. So at the core of it, so it's to let your partner or your girlfriend or your boyfriend know you at the core of it. Okay, so at the core of my existence back then was I was a social person. Okay, so she's known me as a social person. So I didn't wake up to be a social person after we got married. At the core of myself at the time also, I was giving to service. Maybe I wasn't in Rotary at the time. I wasn't in Rotary at the time, but I was giving to service in various expressions, whether it was through church or through benevolence. So it would be to let your partner or your friend know what, you're passionate about and share it. And also share some of the things that you intend to do, not just the ones that you're doing now, so that when those times come, it will be a case of, I already know that.
Fantastic. So I think I'll just go straight to, let me talk about family a bit, because I know you get to travel a lot. The things that you do takes you out of town a lot. How do you prioritize spending time with family? How do you do that? How do you manage that, especially with the children? I mean, yes, you've talked about your wife, her understanding, but for the children, how do you do all that?
I would say it comes from a place of being extremely deliberate and intentional. I'm guided by a few core values. One of it is family, right? And in all of the things that I do, I make it a point of duty to make myself available. For example, no matter what it is, I get to take my kids to school Monday to Friday, right? In a case where I'm not able to take them to school, I make it a point of duty to pick them up, and if I can't pick them up, I'll make it a point of duty to be in school to see them, and then part ways. So I make it a point of duty to be there at least 2-3 times every week, every month. We go on a family date where we all go out together, and have brunch, breakfast, or dinner. So it comes from being extremely intentional and deliberate. It's not easy, so I create that time deliberately, and go on vacations as well deliberately, so there are things that are marked and deliberate. Okay, this is what I have to do. Right now, my wife is picking up the kids. I'm taking them to school because they're doing exams and revisions, so I've already missed spending that time with them in the morning, but I make up for that by finding the time to do that in the afternoon. So no matter how it is difficult, but I try to make myself available for them.
Great. Awesome. I love this. And what does success mean to you when people say that, I'm successful and this or that? What does that mean to you, success?
Success for me means achieving whatever it is that you set your mind to. Okay. Say for example, you set a goal that you want to put 3 podcasts before the end of a particular quarter, right? If you're able to achieve those 3 items that you set your mind to, for me that's success. Okay. So for me, success is being able to achieve your goals, if not all of it, but working towards your goals and achieving your goals. So no matter how little it is. So I say to my kids, like my daughter said to me, Dad, I want to have be the best. So I want to be the valedictorian. I want to have 90% or 95% and above in my grades, and then they work deliberately towards that. So for me, that is success. So it's being able to set your goals, work towards your goals, and achieving your goals. If not achieving all of it, achieving at least most of it.
Awesome. So I like what you said about success, and I see what you did there. Planning to do 3 podcasts in a month, and I see what you are sending me, the loud, successful message. Okay, so well, I know that in everybody's journey, right? Any successful person you see, they've had their challenges, they've had their failure points, they've had the times where they cried, where they struggled, where it looked like things were not working, and then boom, overnight, it just looks like everything is working. So I want you to share with us maybe a time, a season where it looked like you were going through challenges, becoming who you are today, achieving what you've been able to achieve today, and how you were able to navigate through that season.
Okay, thank you once again, Ife. I've had various stages of that. If I could think back right now, I think of a time where I was trying to switch jobs. I was at a place where I was tired of working, and I just wanted to change so bad, right? And then applied, and then did interviews, and then thinking that I'll get this opportunity, and then it never came through, and Well, one of the things that I see when I look back at all these activities is that, I never really give up on it. So if it doesn't work, like I always tell my son and young folks around me, if something doesn't work out, let it not be because you did not put in your very best. Okay. So I'll give it a shot to the very end. If it doesn't work out, I just accept it that maybe it's not for me. It might be hurtful, it might be disappointing. But what I do owe myself is to give it my very best. And one of the things that I do is I like to learn from my own experiences. Okay. So if I try it, it doesn't work, there's always a lesson from that experience. So I always try to take out what's the lesson from this experience. I'll give you an example. A couple years ago, I was involved in a project with someone, and then we worked on it together. It was a small business deal, and then I think it was about 200,000 naira that was involved, and then I worked on doing the website, creating all the content, putting everything up, and at the end of the day, it was time for payment. Payment came to, I was like, oh, I'll need my money, and I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be 80-20. I'm like, yeah, I take 80 and you take 20. And I was like, no, I take 80, you take 20. And I was like, no, it's not possible. I did the bulk of the work and everything. And then we ended up negotiating backwards, and it ended up becoming 70-30, where I took 30. I was so devastated. I felt really cheated. And but I then went back to reflect, what did I do wrong? What did I not do right? Which was that I should have negotiated before I got into that, and that was a lesson for me. It would interest you to know that with that same person, several years down the line, I ended up doing so many huge projects that were in the millions thereafter, so I didn't burn the bridge. I learned the lesson of, what's in it for both of us? Okay, is this, is that, so I've had several of those experiences, but what I try to do is to take my lessons from it. I might cry, I might be sad or disappointed, but I don't stay there. You get, the earlier I snap out of it, the better it is for me. Okay, so this also meant to be, it's not for me. What are my lessons, and then I move on. So if it doesn't work out, let it not be because you did not put your very best in. So that's my model, and that's how I deal with it.
Wow, fantastic. If it doesn't work out, let it not be that you didn't put your best in it. So, I mean, for people in business, I'm glad that you're an entrepreneur, right? So things like this happen a lot where people lose business deals because of one reason or the other. Other clients, what would I call it now? Other vendors are chosen over another. You've tried your best, but it didn't work. Have you experienced something like that, where it looked like the client did not want you, and then they wanted somebody else, and in your mind you felt like you had done so well, you had bidded for it, you're putting your proposals and all that, and then you still didn't get it? Has that happened to you before?
Yeah, that's happened to me several times.
Wow.
But like I said, I learned from my own experiences, right? And if it's happened that way, I take it that it was not meant for me. That's why I said, if it doesn't work, let it not be because you did not put in your very best. So what I owe myself is to put in all that I'm supposed to put in, right? And I like to learn from myself. Okay. So over time it gets better for me. So it happened, it still happens, where I put in all the work, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, I try to do everything right, try to do it excellently, and it still doesn't work out, then I take it that, it's probably not because of what I didn't do right, it's probably not meant for me. And if it's not meant for me, then God has something better for me. So that's how I choose to look at it.
Wow, fantastic. And then, because this thing is a very painful thing, and I know it's something that maybe startups, people are just starting in the business world, are struggling with. It feels like you're trying so hard, you're doing everything, and nothing seems to be working. It's just bottlenecks. But I like that you have been through, and maybe it's still in the phase, no matter how successful someone gets. I mean, there will still be, this 1-2 phases, but you just have to overlook it. And I think that's an encouragement for somebody out there. Just keep putting in your best, like you said. Don't stop and all. Now, work-life balance. Realistically, Jide, do you think that it's possible to do 50-50 work-life balance? Is it possible?
I don't know if it's possible. I know that you just have to try. Okay. I know you have to try. One of the things that I do is I study the people that I want to be like, right? You know, and there are quite a number of them. When I look at their lives, you know, whatever it is you want has a price, right? So are you willing to pay the price for what you want, right? So it's not convenient. It's not easy in all of everything that you're doing. You know, for example, I'm already looking at how I want to go into another executive MBA program come next year, right? You know, that will take me like another 2 years and also increase, you know, the responsibilities that I have to deal with, you know. So it's not, it takes a lot of deliberation, it takes a lot of sacrifices, you know, and being intentional, right? So what I try to do is to ensure that nothing suffers. Okay, I try to give everything as the attention, you know, that it deserves. Because when I look back, you know, people that are close to me will tell you, and I don't mean to brag, people that are close to me will tell you that, oh, Jide, you do well as a father and you do well as a husband, you know, and that's because they know the volume of work that I handle and things that I do, and they still see me be present. Okay, they see me take my kids to school, they see me attend PTA sessions, they see me involved in school, they see me take my children to Rotary project, they see me take them out, you know, go on vacation, you know. So it's not easy on the body. It takes a lot of sacrifice. There are times that, you know, I'm physically exhausted and I'm tired. Okay, but I still have to do what I have to do, you know. So it's not easy. I'm not saying you could do 50-50. Sometimes you break down, and when that happens, just try and take a little break, and the closest one to you would definitely understand.
Wow. Well, because, you know, and what you said, what you just said now, you said you always study people that you aspire to be like, right? And then, you know, because this question I asked you, it has raised a lot of conversation before now. You see people who are doing so, I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm sure that you know, people who are maybe doing so well, they're doing so well in their business, like they're like the best in the world, but their marriages are not working, right? And then it looks like those who are trying to balance their marriage and do that is like the business, it just looks like something must give, right? And with what you have said is the intentionality for me. So why is it that? Because it's still the same work-life balance. Maybe they did not have the balance in this other aspect. It was all work, right? So why is it that it looks like there's a narrative around if we are going to strive to become so successful, then let's say it's the marriage, for example, is the one that has to give. Why does that even happen?
I think sometimes people tend to lose, you know, their focus, you know, and then maybe focus more on the success and the business. A couple of days ago, I think just yesterday, I was watching an interview of Denzel Washington and his wife and his beautiful kids. And when he tries to note that in Hollywood, they've been married for over 40 years.
Fantastic.
You know, and that's quite uncommon in Hollywood, you know. And then he spoke and gave credence to, you know, having a very supportive and understanding wife. And to his own side as well, I'm sure that he's also remained true to certain core values that has made them stay together. So I think maybe what happens many times is, you know, you shouldn't lose sight of things, okay? And you have to remind yourself constantly of what matters to you, okay? It also then means that there are things, it's not every deal that you take, it's not every opportunity that you take. Like my pastor and mentor once said that, you know, when he gets a speaking engagement or he gets an opportunity to do something, the first thing he does is to go and check his calendar. And when he gets into the new year, the first thing that he does is to fix in all the most important events in his life, his wedding anniversary, his children's birthday, graduation, and all that stuff. You know, he puts that in his yearly calendar before he puts anything else.
Fantastic.
Okay, so if there's any opportunity for him to do something at a particular place, if it falls within the time of a graduation or within the time of a family vacation, he's not going to go there. You know, and that's because he's paying attention to his priorities, and family for him is a core value. So I think what happens many times is people tend to shift from one to the other. It's all about balance. Okay, so you have to balance it. So it's not everything that you will go for, right? If you feel like, oh, this is it, I cannot lose it, I cannot lose it, right? You know, and that's when I feel like you begin to potentially slip away. But you have to constantly look at things critically to see, okay, do I really need to do this? What are the long-term implications? How does it take me away? Does it take me away from my family for 8 months, 6 months, you know, and things like that? Or do I only take on gigs that allows me time to build my with my family and spend quality time with them.
Wow, fantastic. I love that. I love that answer. So it's your priority that will determine the things that you will take in. I love that. So if your priority is family, then every other thing can follow, but family will always come first. But if your priority is business, everything will that business will always come first. I love that. That's fantastic. So let me tell everyone thing about Jide. Jide, you call Jide. Today is in Ibadan. Tomorrow is in Abuja. Next one is in UK. He's always on the move. What are you doing? Jide is always doing something. Always move. If you I was just about to say personalities, but he's always in the move, he's always busy, he's always involved in something, he's always going for an engagement, he's always going for, and he will still come for people's weddings, he will go for their birthdays, I'm like, bro, you have 10 lives. Like, how do you do all these things? So he's trying to be involved in your social life. He's trying to also be doing his business, doing the rotary, he's doing like a lot of things. So Jide, how and when do you rest? Realistically, because when do you realize that, man, I need to just breathe? Because it's coming from, as we're doing this podcast, he was in an engagement, right? Trust me, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late. Drove all the way down here, and trust me, as he's living here again, his day never ends. So really, when do you rest, and how do you rest?
That's a tough question. At this point in time of my life, that's something that I'm trying to be more deliberate about. Which is resting, because what I've seen, particularly over the last 6 to 8 months, is the fact that I push myself so hard and then I break down, right? Because I'm trying to be there. I don't rest as well as I should, and that's an area that I believe I need serious improvement on. So I don't know how to rest. I'm learning to try and rest, but what I do now is, if I don't feel good, I know when I don't feel great. If I don't feel good, if I don't feel great, right? I just take a break. Okay. I won't do drop off. I won't travel here. I won't travel there. And then I'll send in apologies, where I can, so for now, I don't know how to rest. The only thing I know is once I've pushed myself to a point where I feel like, it's telling on my health and I can't go further, I just, take a break. And the reason why I do that is because I once had a colleague, who lost, right? And that's because she didn't take a break when it was time. And I remember the last time that I saw her drag herself up to the office, and then she had to come to the office and then sign one document, and then she sat down panting, and then, she signed the documents, and then she went back home, and then the next morning I heard that she was no more.
Wow.
And what I learned from that lesson and that experience was that with or without you, the work will continue. Because the very next day, maybe morning here and there, but someone had filled that role, and then the work just continued. And on the day she was buried, many of the colleagues that were working with her on that day were not even there. So from that experience, I've learned that with or without you, the work will always continue. So what I try to do is, when I see that I cannot come to sign the documents, for example, I just take a break till I get my strength back. But I do believe that I have to be more deliberate to work on that aspect of my life.
Wow.
Maybe you can give me some pointers on how I can rest, because I'm looking forward to learning.
Fantastic. I like what you just said about rest, and since you have asked me for tips, I will take you up on that offer. I will be in your DM. I will be disturbing you because you must rest. Because we need you. Okay, Faye, be serious. Alright, so I know you always plan for a new year. I know I'm catching on this one now. And for people who do a lot of things, very successful, before I even ask this question, let me ask, how is it that you don't forget some things? Or do you forget some things? Do you forget some engagement? You forget, I was supposed to put that place last week, but because of the way you seem to have a lot on your page, you forget sometimes.
So by default, forget things, and I've had people say, "Oh, Jide, you're very smart at this." Now, watch, I'm not. What I basically do is, for the past 4 or 5 years, all the phones I've used, I've always had a pen. You get, so I write, okay, and I always go to my notes, right? So I try to do everything to stay on point. Okay, so I write. So I always have to have a pen and paper to write and always go back. I have a calendar that I manage as well, and I'm very deliberate about it. And in the last 7 to 6 months, I've been more deliberate about managing my calendars because I've
Fantastic.
had so many activities and so many events. So I start my day or my week by looking at my calendar, to see, what are the activities that I have. So I try to use technology, to aid me in the things that I do. I set reminders, 3 days before, 2 days before, so that it can remind me. And I have a very fantastic human being that works with me as an executive assistant, who is very, very helpful in making me appear sharp, because she reminds me of so many things that I tend to forget as well.
Wow, fantastic. And it's good that I asked that, because doing a lot of things, there just must be a way you are able to remember everything. So I'm happy you said that. Now, so planning for a new year, I know that successful people don't just enter New Year's casually, right? What are some of the things that you do, some of the habits that have helped you in terms of entering into a new year? How to start your year? What are things that you do that just helps you?
Okay, so for me, I wrap up my year around October.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
And I begin to plan for the next year from October, just basically reviewing. So I do a review of the year in October, looking at the goals and the things that set out to achieve within the year. And for me, I have a 5-year, 10-year goal. So I have a 5-year goal that is almost, I'm like 2 years into it, but I just constantly go there and then modify it, and it's anchored across various pillars. Okay, business, family, education, and then they're broken down into quarters, right? Because it has to be specific and also measurable. One of the things that I picked out this year when I was doing my review in October was that it's very important that I review every quarter. Because when I was doing my review in October, I realized that I'd missed out on a few things that I'd said I was going to do. But if I reviewed it, quarterly, I would have been able to pick up on those things. So I start planning around this time, right? Flesh it up, and it's fully done by the beginning of the new year, and then begin to just track it on a quarterly basis. Okay, and then I'm also trying to work on another 10-year plan now, because I've been working on a 5-year plan that is rounding up as we speak.
Fantastic. Do you want to talk about your vision board? Let's help somebody.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yes. So one of the things I also have is a vision board. A great friend of mine, told me about the concept of a vision board, and that was some years ago, and it just blew my mind. And it's very magical what a vision board can do. So I have a vision board, and I have, I told you that there are things that, when we're talking about success, and I said I was a dreamer, and I said there are things that I dreamt of that I've achieved, and there are things that I'm still dreaming of that I'm yet to achieve. The things that I'm dreaming I'm yet to achieve are all on my vision board. Okay. So if you come in, you'd see I have this vision board, which I believe you're saying. I have different things, and they're just pictures of things that I want to see. One of the things I'm interested about my vision board, sometimes I just, there are some things that unconsciously I've done them, not because of deliberate, so let's say maybe around July, I just find myself looking at the vision board and I say, oh wow, I've done this and I've done this, and then I just take it off. There are some things that spent 3 years on my vision board and they're now done. Okay, so the vision board is a very great way to plan your goals, especially long-term ones, the ones that Joseph the Dreamer would see, the ones that people will look at you and laugh about it. I have those on my vision board.
Fantastic. So once you've achieved it, you take it out.
Oh yes, and
then you replace it. Fantastic. Wow, this has been such a very interesting session. I wish, I feel like we just continue, because every answer you're giving me is just giving me more questions. Like my brain just bursting with questions, but
why can't we continue?
Well, for the sake of time and all that, I know we have to wrap it up. Trust me, you are coming. I'm just telling you on the spot now. You are coming back. We're bringing you back, because there's so much juice that we still need to, suck out and all. But let's just do final words. Something that you think that people should know to encourage them in the journey, and it would be nice for it to impute rest into your advice. So just give us a final word.
Okay, I'll start by saying impossibility is a possibility that is yet to be explored. So what that basically means is that, nothing is impossible. Okay, if it's not been done before, then you could be the first person to do it.
Fantastic.
Don't listen to the naysayers. Follow and pursue your dreams. If it doesn't work, let it not be because you didn't put in your very best. Have your goals outlined. Habakkuk says, write the vision down, make it plain, and everyone will read it. So it's not just enough for you to know it in your head. It's important that you write it down. And a vision board is nothing complicated. It can just be a notice board, or you could just get sticky notes, post it in your cupboard, as long as you're seeing it every day. Okay, because there's power in vision, there's power in what you see. Okay, so for me, believe that impossible possible. Write your vision down, stick it on the board, see it every day, and then the sky will just be the starting point for you.
Wow, fantastic. Please help me. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jide. Thank you for this session. Thank you for this time. In fact, it's bigger than what I thought it in my head, right? You've shared much more than what I even planned or highlighted. I'm just happy and grateful to God that I brought you here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the nuggets I have learned. And I'm obviously going to take my time to watch this because there are things that I also have taken from what you have said and I need to run with. I'm so grateful that you gave us some of your time to do this. I'm happy about things that you have shared. I even like the family, the fact that you're a family person and the priority that you've placed on family and how God has helped you with an amazing wife, children to help balance that area. It just shows why you are one of the successful people around us. So thank you. And I just pray that it will just keep getting better and better for you and you will continue to be a person of influence, value to people around you and everywhere that you go in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this session. I hope that it was value for your time. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned to receive tips that will help you run as we wrap up this year and plan for the new year. And one very important thing I want to reiterate is rest. As much as we're trying so hard to achieve a lot of things, right, it's more important that we find time to rest. It's so important that we find time to rest. I know that the economy, and that's one of the things that we could have touched, but I don't want to drag this too much. But I know the economy is putting a lot of strain right now, and everybody's just trying to double their hustle. But please find time to rest. It's very, very important. Till we come your way again in another podcast. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and I'll see you again at the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you, everyone. Bye.